Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Abhineet Shukla with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates and lays foundation stone of various development projects in Manipur, says players of the state are inspiring youth of the country. Prime Minister also inaugurates new integrated terminal building at Maharaja Bir Vikram Airport and launches two key development initiatives in Tripura. 1,892 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far, over 37,000 new COVID cases reported in the last 24 hours. Under nationwide vaccination drive, more than 146 crore 70 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. About 42 lakh children inoculated on the first day of COVID vaccination for 15 to 18 age group. Punjab government imposes night curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. amid surge in COVID-19 positive cases. In Jammu and Kashmir, two terrorists killed in encounter with security forces in OK area of Kulgam district. And in cricket, India were 44 for 2 on day 2 of second test match against South Africa in Johannesburg. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause for concern. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated, as nationwide vaccination of teenagers is also underway now. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. Another news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the youth of Manipur, especially daughters of the state, have made the country proud all over the world. He added, the youth of the country are getting inspired by the players of Manipur. The Prime Minister said in a public gathering at Imphal, Manipur has been producing the rarest gems for the country in different areas, especially games and sports. The sportspersons from the state brought laurels for the country in international events including Olympic and Commonwealth Games.
यहाँ के युवाओं ने और विशेषकर मणिपुर की बेटियों ने पूरी दुनिया में भारत का झंडा उठाया है, गर्व से देश का सर ऊंचा किया है। विशेषकर आज देश के नौजवान मणिपुर के खिलाड़ियों से प्रेरणा ले रहे हैं।
The Prime Minister also informed that a modern sports university has been set up in Manipur. Speaking about the law and order situation in Manipur, the Prime Minister said law and order has improved due to the continuous efforts of the double-engine government reducing the insecurity in the region drastically. He said peace and development have embraced the northeast region, including Manipur today, as hundreds of youth across the region have given up arms and joined the mainstream of development. Mr. Modi also mentioned that Manipur has become a state giving way for international trade from a blockade state due to the sincere effort of the current BJP-led government while resolving the decade-long pending issues. The Prime Minister said his government has resolved to act east for the northeast. He said the northeast is now becoming the gateway to India's development.
हमने पूर्वोत्तर के लिए एक्ट ईस्ट का संकल्प लिया है। ईश्वर ने इस क्षेत्र को इतने प्राकृतिक संसाधन दिए हैं, इतना सामर्थ्य दिया है, यहाँ विकास की, टूरिज्म की इतनी संभावनाएं हैं। नॉर्थ ईस्ट की इन संभावनाओं पर अब काम हो रहा है। पूर्वोत्तर अब भारत के विकास का गेटवे बन रहा है।
He said this decade of the 21st century is very important for Manipur and lamented the loss of time in the past. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated 13 projects worth around 1,850 crore rupees and laid the foundation stone of 9 projects worth around 2,950 crore rupees during the public gathering held at Hapta Kangjebung in Imphal this morning. These projects relate to diverse sectors such as road infrastructure, drinking water supply, health, urban development, housing, information technology, skill development, art and culture, among others. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new integrated terminal building of Maharaja Bir Bikram MBB Airport and launched key initiatives like Mukhyamantri Tripura Gram Samriddhi Yojana and Project Mission 100 of Vidya Jyoti schools at Agartala in Tripura. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said India of the 21st century will move forward by taking everyone along with the spirit of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Prayas.
21वीं सदी का भारत सबको साथ लेकर सबके विकास और सबके प्रयास से ही आगे बढ़ेगा। कुछ राज्य पीछे रहे, कुछ राज्य के लोग मूलभूत सुविधाओं के लिए तरसते रहे। ये असंतुलित विकास राष्ट्र के विकास के लिए उचित नहीं है।
The Prime Minister said unbalanced development where some states lag behind and people are deprived of even basic facilities is not good. This is what the people of Tripura have seen for decades, he lamented. Mr. Modi recalled the times of relentless corruption and governments with no vision or intention of development of the state. After such a scenario, the Prime Minister said the current regime has come up with the mantra of Hira.
मैंने त्रिपुरा के लोगों को हीरा का आश्वासन दिया था। हीरा HIRA, H से हाईवे, I से इंटरनेट वे, R से रेलवेज और A से एयरवेज। आज हीरा मॉडल पर त्रिपुरा अपनी कनेक्टिविटी सुधार रहा है, अपनी कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ा रहा है।
Commenting on the new airport, the Prime Minister said the airport is a blend of Tripura's culture, natural beauty and modern facilities. While playing a big role in enhancing air connectivity in the northeast, this is turning Tripura into a new hub of business and industry as well as a trade corridor. Praising Tripura's record in taking welfare schemes to the people, the Prime Minister lauded the state for launching Mukhyamantri Tripura Gram Samriddhi Yojana. The Prime Minister appreciated the Chief Minister for working to change the definitions to improve the coverage of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. This has resulted in 1.8 lakh families getting Pakka houses, of which 50,000 houses have already been given for possession in the state. The Prime Minister said the new national education policy is being implemented in the country to skill the youth who are working towards making India modern in the 21st century. Students of Tripura are now going to get help from Mission 100 and the Vidya Jyoti campaign, he said. The Prime Minister said Tripura can play an important role in giving the country an alternative to single-use plastic. A huge market is being created in the country for bamboo brooms and bamboo bottle products made in the state. With this, thousands of people are getting employment or self-employment in the manufacture of bamboo items. He also praised the state's work in organic farming.
A total of 1,892 cases of Omicron have been reported in the country so far. Out of the total cases, Maharashtra has reported 568, followed by Delhi with 382, Kerala with 185 cases, and Rajasthan has reported 174 cases. Union Health Ministry said till now 766 people have recovered from the infection. More than 147 crore 62 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. More than 87 lakh vaccine doses have been administered till 7 p.m. The Health Ministry said a total of 37,379 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. India's active case load stands at 1,71,830. The active cases account for less than 1% of total cases and is currently at 0.49%. The recovery rate is currently at 98.13%. A total of 11,007 people recovered in the last 24 hours. The weekly positivity rate currently stands at 2.05%, while the daily positivity rate is at 3.24%. All private hospitals and nursing homes in Delhi having 50 beds and above have been directed to reserve at least 40% of their total bed capacity for the COVID-19 patients. The decision came in the wake of rising cases of COVID-19 in the national capital.
In view of the spike in COVID-19 cases, weekend curfew will be imposed in the national capital. Delhi government officials, barring essential services, will work from home, while private offices will work with 50% capacity. The Delhi Disaster Management Authority met today and decided on these new curbs in the city. Briefing media, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said Delhi Metro and buses will again run at full capacity to avoid crowding outside metro stations and at bus stops. However, people will not be allowed to travel without a mask. Mr. Sisodia said as per the experts, the Omicron variant is milder. The Punjab government today imposed night curfew in municipal limits of all cities and towns in the state, with certain exceptions amid surge in COVID-19 positive cases. The curfew will be effective from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. However, essential activities will be permitted during these hours. The other restrictions announced in the state include wearing masks in public places and enforcing social distancing. COVID cases are increasing rapidly in Rajasthan. Today, 1,137 new cases have been reported in the state, while one patient died. The number of active patients in the state has gone up to more than 3,000. More from our correspondent.
There has been a 15-fold increase in the number of active cases in the state in the last 11 days. More than one-third active cases are in Jaipur alone. 745 new cases of COVID have been reported in the city. The positivity rate in the capital has crossed 7%. In order to control the infection, the police and administration are engaged in strict adherence to the COVID guidelines. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
The Health and Family Welfare Ministry has termed a media report misleading, which claimed that the centre has only released 26.14% of funds under India COVID-19 Emergency Response and Health Systems Preparedness Package, Phase 2. The Health Ministry said over 6,000 crore rupees, which is 50% of central share, has already been released to states and union territories through National Health Mission in August last year. Out of over 6,000 crore rupees, a total of 1,679 crore rupees have already been spent by states and union territories. The Health Ministry said the remaining funds will be released to states based on the progress and utilization of at least 50% of the released funds. So far, 5 states have reported expenditure of more than 50%. The central government is actively pursuing with states for speedy implementation of the health package. The Cabinet approved the health package in July last year, worth over 23,000 crore rupees to be implemented till the end of March this year. The scheme is aimed to strengthen health systems for emergency response and preparedness across the country in view of the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates and lays foundation stone of various development projects in Manipur, says players of the state are inspiring youth of the country. Prime Minister also inaugurates new integrated terminal building at Maharaja Bir Bikram Airport and launches 2 key development initiatives in Tripura. 1,892 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far, over 37,000 new COVID cases reported in the last 24 hours. Under the nationwide vaccination drive, more than 147 crore 62 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. About 42 lakh children inoculated on the first day of COVID vaccination for 15 to 18 age group. Punjab government imposes night curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. amid surge in COVID-19 positive cases. In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists killed in encounter with security forces in OK area of Kulgam district. And in cricket, India were 55 for 2 on day 2 of second test match against South Africa in Johannesburg. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back to the evening news. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said today that the new education policy follows the Nai Talim of Mahatma Gandhi by giving importance to the mother tongue as the medium of instruction at school level. Addressing the Silver Jubilee celebrations of Mahatma Gandhi International Hindi University, Wardha today, the Vice President recalled that the Nai Taaleem proposed by Mahatma Gandhi in Wardha in 1937 laid emphasis on making mother tongue as the medium of instruction in addition to free compulsory education and skill training to the students. Mr. Naidu said our Constituent Assembly, after a long debate, accepted Hindi as the official language and also accorded constitutional status to other Indian languages in the 8th schedule. Noting that every Indian language has a glorious history and rich literature, but we are fortunate to have linguistic diversity in our country. Our linguistic diversity is our strength, as our languages symbolize our cultural unity, he added. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember Gandhian freedom fighter and economist Joseph Chelladurai Kumarappa, who was born on the 4th of January 1892 at Tanjore.
As an economist, Kumarappa believed that a human is not merely a wealth-producing agent, but essentially a member of the society with political, social, moral responsibilities. His essays drew the attention of Mahatma Gandhi, who turned him into a constructive worker.
At the Karachi session of Congress in 1931, Kumarappa was chosen as the convener of a select committee to study the details of the financial obligation between Britain and India. When Gandhiji went to England to attend the second roundtable conference, Kumarappa assumed the editorship of his newspaper, Young India, and he was jailed for 2 years and 6 months of rigorous imprisonment for his writings. On his release from jail, he helped Dr. Rajendra Prasad and Jamnalal Bajaj as financial advisor during the earthquake relief work in Bihar in 1934. In 1942, Kumarappa was again jailed for his article, Stone for Bread.
While in prison, he wrote 2 books, Practice and Precepts of Jesus and The Economy of Permanence. Mahatma Gandhi wrote forewords for both these books. In 1946, he formulated an elaborate scheme for rural upliftment based on the principles of self-reliance. In 1948, when Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, Kumarappa was so shocked that he lost vision of both his eyes. Fortunately, he regained his sight after a couple of days.
In the post-independence period, Kumarappa travelled on various missions across the globe for the national cause. Later, he retired from political life and settled down at Gandhi Niketan in Madurai district. Kumarappa breathed his last on the 30th of January 1960. We salute the great nationalist.
We also remember nationalist Maulana Muhammad Ali Jauhar, who died on the 4th of January 1931. Born in Rampur, Uttar Pradesh, on the 10th of December 1878. He was a staunch supporter of India's independence and a torchbearer of the Khilafat movement. He led a delegation to London for the Khilafat movement in 1920. On his return from England, he established Jamia Millia Islamia in 1920 at Aligarh, which was later shifted to Delhi.
Initially a member of the Muslim League, Jauhar joined the Indian National Congress in 1919 and became its national president in 1923. In 1930, he participated in the Round Table Conference despite his ill health. where he gave his famous statement, "Either give me freedom or give me a 2 yards place for my grave. I do not want to go back to a slave country."
These words proved true, and he died on the 4th of January 1931 in London. Establishment of Maulana Muhammad Ali Jauhar University in his native town is a humble tribute to this great son of Rampur.
Freedom fighter Vishnu Dattatreya Chitale, who was born on the 4th of January 1906 in Kolhapur, Maharashtra.
At the 1940 Ramgarh session of the Indian National Congress, Chitale and K.M. Ashraf proposed an amendment to the main resolution calling for immediate launching of the struggle for independence and rejecting any compromise with the British rule.
In 1955, Chitale led over 1,000 satyagrahis to Goa to demand integration of Portuguese-controlled Goa with India. Portuguese military forces opened fire, injuring Chitale among many others. Chitale later served as a member of the Bombay Legislative Assembly from 1957 till his death in 1961. We salute the great nationalist.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
स्वाधीनता संग्राम के वे निशान जो साक्षी हैं हमारे सेनानियों के संघर्ष और बलिदान के। आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष श्रृंखला निशान। हर बुधवार को शाम 4:45 पर कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh today released a special postage stamp commemorating the 75th Platinum Jubilee year of CSIR National Fiscal Laboratory in New Delhi. The minister also dedicated the Nation LED Photometry Laboratory to fulfill Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision to develop energy-efficient illumination technology. Lauding the role of National Fiscal Laboratory, Dr. Jitendra Singh said, "It is a monumental illustration of country's incredible scientific journey in the last 75 years. He said the Platinum Jubilee celebration is coinciding with the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India and Japan will celebrate the 70th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations this year. The two countries established diplomatic relations on the 28th of April 1952. To mark this historic occasion, India and Japan have decided to have special logos. The Japanese side had launched its logo earlier this year. The Women and Child Development Ministry has invited nominations for Nari Shakti Puraskar 2021 to be awarded on the occasion of International Women's Day on the 8th of March this year. The nominations will be accepted only through online mode on www.awards.gov.in. All nominations received up to the 31st of January will be considered for the Nari Shakti Puraskar. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
पहले जो सरकार में थे वो माफिया को संरक्षण देते थे। आज योगी जी की सरकार माफिया की सफाई में जुटी है। ये तभी तो यूपी के लोग कहते हैं फर्क साफ है।
हमारे नए उत्तर प्रदेश में माफियाओं, दंगाइयों और भ्रष्टों पर हो रहा प्रहार है, इसीलिए फर्क साफ है। 2017 के पहले आस्था का होता था अपमान, 2017 के बाद उसे मिल रहा उचित सम्मान। फर्क साफ है। 2017 से पहले मेरठ से दिल्ली पहुंचना था दूभर। 2017 के बाद दिल्ली बस 1 घंटे दूर। फर्क साफ है।
The Central Bureau of Investigation has denied media reports alleging that CBI found no evidence in 21 cases of rape and attempt to rape received from the National Human Rights Commission on alleged post-poll violence in West Bengal. The CBI termed these reports as misrepresentation of facts, misleading and false. It said the Calcutta High Court had ordered the CBI in August last year to investigate the incidents involving offences of murder, rape and attempt to rape. The CBI said it had received 29 complaints of sexual assault from the NHRC by the end of last month. Out of these, 2 cases have been handed over to a state SIT. Further, 2 complaints relating to the same incident of sexual assault were combined, resulting in registration of only 1 case for investigation. The CBI said the remaining cases are under progress. It further said CBI had registered 50 regular cases and initiated 1 preliminary inquiry into the incidents of post-poll violence. By the time of submission of status report, the CBI had submitted charge sheet in 10 cases, while the remaining cases are under progress. In the Kashmir Valley, 2 terrorists were killed today in an encounter with security forces in OK area of Kulgam district. Inspector General of Police, Kashmir Zone, Vijay Kumar said the slain terrorists were locals and were affiliated with the proscribed The Resistance Front outfit. Mr. Kumar said both were wanted in several terror crimes.
The Sensex and the Nifty today rose more than 1%. Both stocks gained amid positive global cues, a report from the business world.
BSE Sensex climbed 673 points or 1.14% to trade at 59,856. The NSE Nifty also surged 180 points or 1.02% to trade at 17,805. In the forex market, the rupee weakened 30 paise against the US dollar. The domestic unit closed at 74 rupees and 56 paise against the US currency. Gold prices was trading at 47,790 rupees per 10 grams in intraday trade. Rajesh Lake for EIR News.
In the second cricket test match, India was 75 for 2 against South Africa at the Wanderers Stadium in Johannesburg in second innings when reports last came in. Earlier on day 2, the hosts were all out on 229 with meagre lead of 26 runs. Yesterday on first day of second test, India were bowled out for 202 in their first innings. The first test of the 3-match series was won by the visitors.
In Jammu and Kashmir, the higher reaches received fresh snowfall while rains lashed the plains in both divisions of the Union Territory. As per the Meteorological Centre, Srinagar, more rain and snowfall is expected for the next few days, and people have been advised to avoid visiting hilly areas in view of poor visibility caused by the incessant rain and snowfall. 42 out of 44 total flights that operate from the Srinagar International Airport on a daily basis were cancelled for the day. Traffic on Srinagar-Leh National Highway and Mughal Road also remained suspended. However, Srinagar-Jammu National Highway remained open. The normal life has been greatly affected in Uttarakhand due to severe cold conditions. Met Department predicted heavy snowfall is likely to occur at isolated places with a height of 3,000 meters and above in Uttarkashi, Chamoli, Rudraprayag, Pithoragarh and Bageshwar districts of Uttarakhand. Our correspondent has reported that cloudy sky with cold wave was witnessed in Dehradun, Chamoli and Almora today. Now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates and lays foundation stone of various development projects in Manipur, says players of the state are inspiring youth of the country. Prime Minister also inaugurates new integrated terminal building at Maharaja Bir Vikram Airport and launches 2 key development initiatives in Tripura. 1,892 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far. Over 37,000 new COVID cases reported in the last 24 hours. Under nationwide vaccination drive, more than 147 crore 62 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. About 42 lakh children inoculated on the first day of COVID vaccination for 15 to 18 age group. Punjab government imposes night curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. amid surge in COVID-19 positive cases. In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists killed in encounter with security forces in OK area of Kulgam district. And in cricket, India was 75 for 2 on day 2 of second test match against South Africa in Johannesburg. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.